I'm more surprised, honestly, that there's 5 players in the Northwest up by Coral Castles. That's just ridiculous to me. There's no way there's enough loot to support that many people up there. But right now, if Tayson, the player from E11, trying to find a shot here, getting a little bit of a third-party action. 33 as was a 49 headshot with the AR right into the box, and Samtosh going to be taken down. Good disengage from Tayson as well. Does take 90 damage there, but has the 4 chug splashes as well as a big pot. He's going to try and put a little bit of space here to top back off, but then I anticipate him to probably dive back in and test his opponent here.
There it is, a 99 tag, and the aggression is just going to continue to come out here for Milan. A player trying to continuously move up and create layers. Milan matching those layers perfectly. Ooh, the nice cone, but he's not going to get all of it. He wasn't able to get into the player's box. They continue pressure on the attack, and that Diablo is just going to let him in.
Kind of disadvantage comes for just the anti-one-shot potential that the charge shotgun then will have. What we see here, you can see that format fly in real quick, just how heavily weighted it is towards later placements and maintaining in, outlasting the first 25 players, and then it sets up 10 till we get in. But going down there is Kira on the end of Gambit 2, so the Gambit player, as we swap on over to Navi's new assigning 7 Taurus in a box fight here, but less of a box fight, more of a crash pad in fight. 60 damage goes through right away, and he finds the follow-up. B Junius Jules, not quite genius enough there as she goes down.
We saw this a lot last weekend because of Mr. Savage. He really popularized how these players are getting in with these boxes from these different angles. The wall's going to get taken. This player trying to make the charge, but in that tack, when it's that legendary tack versus a green or a blue shotgun, it's just going to outperform in those situations.
So now the fights continue going as we try and catch all of the early game action. Here's Supremacy Kizix trying to find a fight here right on the edge of this lodge. Lots of natural cover in here, and a good 180 shot there. This Krej is going down, so not going to repeat his early game success last time, going down there.
That was a very early rotation from Krej as well, all the way out of Slurpee. The zone is just over halfway moving in. So interesting to catch that IS. Ooh, the deal is going to get taken down there by Felix with a nice snipe right there in Salty. What an elimination.
Yeah, this is just a weird fight to be taking. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, though. Both players looking a little desperate in this situation as the box fight kicks off. 71-28 comes through. Third tag as well. 3 back-to-back shots from Axe with some good damage. 24 white, and NXS Andy looking a little bit lost there as Axe Force picks up that fight.
Being a net gain from it as we're to another big fight. Kizzy versus Rezon. Rezon, did very well, but boxed up there and there's nowhere to go. Rezon is not looking like the same Rezon that he did in the last weekend's qualifiers. Just save his HP just a little bit. Now the mutual shield off has occurred. They're both popping minis. Could both go for the big shield, but no one wants to secure a little bit more footing here, a little bit more real estate, trying to keep that pressure up. I think the other player just concerned. Ooh, the crash back coming in. No, Riley is going to get a stare over the top, but that player going to go down. Nice France there from Noah, but he's got to be careful on this diagonal again. Player just went for it, and he made the edit, but Kiko going to take advantage of that and get the elimination.
And rack him up, which is what makes these aggressive playstyles just so difficult here. So now we hop on over here with XL Wolfdog, aka Wolfies, the player from XL, the young English Lord, pushes in and takes down Edison, who we saw have a pretty strong qualifier number 2 last week, but
not going to give him a lot of room to work with as the shots go back and forth. Kiko on very low HP. He's going to have to make a really big charge play. He can get the 1 elimination here. It's enough damage to get this player out, but he misses it. No, he hits it. He hits the shot and the follow-up on the pistol. We see a lot of players start to rotate out. We see Cryox right there in the middle. Kazix up above. He did end up picking the elimination up onto Kiko as they tried to rotate through. The Bat Sniper's just sitting here chilling. He's trying to surveil the area, find out as much as he can before he makes his move. And there you go. Finds an elimination right there onto Diox, and that's what he was looking for. He was sitting up, waiting, and hunting his prey.
And you see he's going to pop a pepper right before popping a crash to try and disengage. However, and another player over to the side in a 1v1 going down here. Zoom in as we see Frostroki trying to put the pressure onto Artur. Only has the rare tack the common tack and 6 shots left in it, so he's going to have to be able to push through as we wait for the server to catch up there, and he is going to find that one. Artur going down. Spen also picking up Benji outside of the top 50, so have not hit that second placement threshold quite yet, and Benji Fishy going down as well. You can see Flick now Also trying to make a rotation through. Teak still up in the lobby after his early exit last game. MCSX Squeezy finds a great shot onto Snappy. He gets sent back to the lobby in a little 180 there. Gonna flick, take that down, make sure he pops the crash pad and get as much of this loot as possible, which he desperately needs. He needs as many hard mats because he's really struggling in terms of metal. Only 65 there.
He's getting elimination. This player has all the walls edited. I believe it's going to be Matzo there down below, and Flick looking to pick up the elimination, and he is going to catch Matzo off guard there. And look at the weapon upgrade he's getting. He can even drop his cabbages there for the big shields as well. He's got a lot to work with, more crash pads, a sniper if he wants to. And this is what Flick needed to turn online this game.
Get as close to zone as possible and begin his crash pad rotation. Shouldn't necessarily be looking for a pick because he's in a spot where he's all set up, and instead, yep, just going to crash pad in. Not quite able to find the other crash pad to chain it together, but we'll wait for the server to catch up and see where he lands, and where he lands is directly on top of Iwa. And Iwa going back and out of this game here as Flick now picks up his 4th elimination. English player for Wave doing incredibly well right now.
And Cryox on that rotation went down as well. So our game number 1 winner is out of the game. They ended up going down to Kezix, who's been very, very good this game. Has gotten a lot of eliminations, and we'll see if he continues it up. With that game under his belt, he can start to make his way towards that top 50, towards the top even 10 as we swap over to High Ground, who is Toos and did not have to rotate very far from his initial landing at Caddy Corner. Does have that Kit's Mythic Shockwave launcher, but only 5 rockets in it. He's going to have to find an impact frag, maybe someone trying to contest their high ground that he's able to pick up their loot at. Right now, he's sitting pretty. He's waiting for this zone to come through, and he's just looking to get eliminations. And as we see, an elimination onto Kiriachi is going to come through, so able to make it into those placement points, but it's just not where he wants to be. As someone on top of Toos is going to get boxed up, and that's going to be another elimination there for Toos, sitting on number 3, Tireless going down.
When we talk about Kiriachi picking up placement points, going down in 42nd is super rough because that next placement point coming through would have been in the top 40 after 10 more players had fallen. So only getting 2 placement points for all of that effort. He's going to go back and have to watch this end game, figure out what he could have ended up doing better. Now as we're on board here, C1 Resty L trying to find a little bit of an angle here. Does have the rare burst, so if he's able to chain together some shots, he could potentially do a lot of damage, but just going to opt to go into zone. You can see Storm Surge is in play. 8 players will need to go down. Resty is one of them who's currently under pressure. 31 players below. You can see on the right side, drops in the box. Not going to find one, but gets the revenge right away onto Slide Mason. There's now 35 players remaining. You hear all the crash pads bouncing, everyone going off, trying to use whatever utility they can. So we swing over to the wide and we see all of those builds pop in. That's everyone trying to do what they can and use everything left to traverse over this water. And we see a number of people playing tadpole on the low ground while everyone else is bouncing around on the mid. And who has the ultimate high? It's XL's Wolf Dog.
Wolfies win from getting mid-game eliminations to taking high ground. But right now we're concerned about Tayson. If he's going to be able to get out of the spray, he is in zone. He does have a good amount of mats, and those crash pads are there for him. But where is zone going to pull? It's actually going to pull back towards him, and this is really good. He's got a nice rotation in, actually away from him there. As a player down below, he's got to be careful. Player on top, and that's going to be Flick going down. A heads-up play by Tayson to get that elimination. The loot upgrade as well. Still very, very, very far to go. It's the top 25 players remaining with 4 eliminations. He's crash padding into zone, almost going to land on top of a player, and it almost looks like he may be able to contest high ground here if he wants to.
Yeah, Mitro, Jam Side, all falling in that rotation right outside the top 25. Orion picks up FaZe Martaz fan, a.k.a. FaZe Martaz LOL. Nice name. As we hop back on board here with E11's Tayson up on the high ground, nearing in on top 20. Over Orion going down just outside of it. You can see now Tayson trying to convert on all of it. We have our top 20. As Crown ends up going down right there, and Tayson onto his number 5 elimination right now, and zone is actually going to pull back towards him, so good priority and good opportunity for him to find more as like Squeezy picks up another elimination. 2 now up on the high ground, and we see Bayer on the backside of the zone. A number of players opting to crash pad in front of zone, Tayson being one of them. Him and Squeezy in the same box, but puts a box in between him, uses the tug splashes, uses a crash pad to disengage, find his own layer. Tooth picks up Kinzo, Wrestle picks up Frizzy, Hardfind picks up Light, and one more player will go down. Then we'll have our top 10, and those placement points will really begin to start ticking over.
And Tayson going to be the one to do it there. Naito going down, 6 eliminations here for Tayson. We're starting to see EU ramp up. This could be one of the first days we see double-digit performances here in round 3. Squeeze is going to take down Rocky. Intech will go down to Restiel. Ason, Toos up there as well on the high ground. Squeeze and Dillix. Hardfine, Lindgreen, your last remaining players here. As Hardfine is going to have to make a very, very interesting play as he's dropping down. RPG's going through. But unfortunately, he's going to fall. Ason going to get another elimination, I think, but he's going to fall as well. Toos up above. We'll be able to rain fire with that mythic shockwave launcher and that mythic charge shotgun there. He is running out of build traver. He's going to need to pick up an elimination and needs to end this game quickly because it's over water, but those builds falling down going to do a lot of damage. And also has to be careful he doesn't shockwave down onto a crash pad, because we've seen that come out of Europe before. Last couple of zones coming through here, and Dillix, not very healthy, needs to make a play onto Lindgreen if he wants to make something happen. Resty dropping on down is going to be the benefactor of that. He actually doesn't take any fall damage. I was worried he was going to fall down, but all the builds being broken in a very good spot underneath everything. He's got builds. He's playing like he's got none to play on the other side. This is going to be an easy edit onto him, and Dillix trying to make a play is going to go down. Resty going to be the one to do it, and he's made a play. Only Lindgreen and Toos remaining in this game. It's coming down to, it could come down to heal up, and it would go over to Resty. He's got the most HP, unless one of these players above has floppers, unless someone of them gets an elimination, as Toos is now starting to drop down. Lindgreen going to go down to Resty, and now Toos has to make a play to get into the box. He doesn't have mats. He still has rockets in that shockwave launcher. He could go in, and that's what he's going to try to do. Into the zone, he's going to be able to pick it up onto Resty.
0 points, now ending the game. He does have the 20, so he's fighting himself in 4th, and Squeezier, excuse me, my brain just stopped working there, tied for first place. Now the eliminations are what's putting him just ahead